you're gonna mess up your circadian rhythm and you're gonna mess up your lymphatic system because you're not gonna get any movement. Look, if you watch this entire video, you'll become healthier, you'll love the winter, and you'll maybe get rid of an insecurity that I've seen literally everyone have. Okay, first of all, humans really like being at the right temperature, so if it's too cold, if it's winter basically, you'll be miserable. And if it's too hot, if you go to some really hot country like anywhere in the Middle East, you'll be miserable. Obviously, we're not looking at heat, we're looking at the cold. So let's understand what happens when we get cold. Why do our bodies send out so many pain signals when we get cold? Can't our cells just produce enough energy? Well, you see, that's the entire problem. If you get cold, your body is being cooled down. So your body temperature is gonna drop unless your cells start producing more energy. And that's why if we look at tests done on Wim Hof, the cold exposure guy, I'm sure you've heard of him, they said that the mitochondrial activity, so the place in the cell where energy is produced, increases by 300% when he does the cold exposure. If we really look at what's happening, the more your mitochondria work, the more you're wearing out your cells. That's a form of stress. Your body, imagine if you take a cold plunge. This is the extreme version of being outside, in the air in the winter. But anyway, your body thinks that it is dying. It's gonna use all of its resources to keep you alive. So that's a very big stress. Well, then we have a milder stress of being outside during the winter. Your cells aren't gonna be happy. They're gonna be sitting there producing excessive amounts of energy to keep you alive. And that's what's happening. And that's why we feel pain when we're cold. Because your body doesn't want to be in that state. It needs heat, and so it's gonna give you that pain so that you get motivated to find heat. It's telling you that something is wrong, and that's why people don't like the winter. Yes, it gets dark and people don't like that, but it's also cold, and that's the primary reason as to why people don't like the winter. This entire notion of being cold during the winter is pretty retarded, because it's not up to the weather anymore. It's up to you. You've got clothes, so wear them. That's the thing. In modern society, we have clothes, and we have many different types of clothes, and you've got the luxury of choosing whatever materials that you want, in whatever colors, in whatever shape, in whatever size that you want, so that you can be warm during any temperature. Let's put the nail in the coffin. Most people lack the skill of wearing adequate clothes in relation to the weather. And that's why they hate the winter. This is a skill that people haven't developed. And if you haven't developed it, again, you're gonna hate the winter because the winter is gonna be very cold. But if you learn to wear clothes in a good manner, you're gonna be going out more during the winter, and you're not gonna see it as a miserable thing. Because when you go out, you're gonna see snow everywhere and it's gonna snow on your head, but you're gonna be warm. You're not gonna feel anything because you're wearing adequate clothes. This results in your body being happy by not being stressed all the time, because no one wants to stress their cells. That's why people start hating the winter, because they're wearing inadequate clothes, they're feeling the pain of the cold, and they're starting to associate the winter with pain, with unhealthiness, because pain means that something bad is happening to your body. In many cases, in some cases, very few cases, something good is actually happening and you just have to go through the pain. But anyways, people like to look good instead of feel good, to the detriment of enjoying the winter. And so if you're insecure about how you look in certain clothes, realize that that's just in your head, and what's important is your health, not how you look. If that beanie makes you look ridiculous, well, it's more important to cover your ears, because you can get some really nasty stuff. I mean, if I walk outside without a beanie when it's cold, I get pain in my ear, and I've had that since I was a child. These gloves don't look really handsome. They're not really masculine, because, they're rounded, they look a little bit childish. We associate these kinds of gloves with things that a child would wear, but they're gonna keep my hands warm. And that's the important thing, because I don't want dry skin on my hands. Now let's talk about what you should wear. So the thing is, you want to stick to natural materials because in general they keep you warmer. This is an example of a glove, a fantastic glove. This is deer skin and this is lamb's fur. It's the only glove I've worn that actually keeps my hand really warm, and thank you to my mother who bought this for me. During my second year of upper secondary school, I got enlightened about wool, because I just realized that it's the best material ever. And since wool things are fairly expensive, at least in relation to synthetic stuff and cotton stuff, I wanted to make clothes myself. So I learned to knit, and I made this. And let me show you something. This again is a perfect example of what to wear during the winter. It's wool and it's comfortable and it's gonna keep, you know, all of this warm, and that's what you want, because this is an area that, well, a lot of blood passes through here and it's gonna be extra sensitive. Your body's gonna want to protect that, so you're gonna feel a lot of stuff over here, especially the cold. And I just wanted to show you, this was really hard to do. And as you can see, there are different patterns. So this is the last thing I did, and then you've got this pattern, you've got this pattern, you've got this pattern over here. Now, okay, wear wool. And number two, the reason I'm showing you gloves and a scarf is cover your weak points. Remember to always wear something on your neck. I mean, a lot of blood is passing through here. This is a sensitive area. It's gonna get cold really fast, and you're gonna be uncomfortable if you don't cover your throat. So cover all of this. Cover your hands with something good, and cover your ears. And I talked about it earlier. If I don't cover my ears, I feel genuine pain inside my ears. So if you've had the same experience, well, then get a beanie. The third and final tip is that your winter jacket isn't what keeps you warm, it's the layers underneath. So if I'm gonna stay warm when it's, you know, minus 10 degrees Celsius, I'm gonna wear several sweaters, one over another, and that's called layering. Now, when I say layering, when someone mentioned layering when I was younger, or if you had mentioned it maybe 2-3 years ago, I would be so disinterested, and whatever you would say, I wouldn't care. But now that I think about it, it's just a way, especially during the winter, to be warm. Because if you wear two sweaters, one over the other, you're gonna get the effect of both of those sweaters. Instead of, you know, wearing a jacket that's even heavier, you can use the clothes that you already have to stay warm. So in extreme cases, I would wear a t-shirt, then I would put on a sweater, then I would put on a sweater over that, then I would put on my biggest sweater over those two sweaters, and then I would wear my jacket, because I knew that if I go out, you're gonna be really hot when you're wearing them, but then when you go out and you're outside for an hour, you're gonna know that, okay, when an hour has passed, if I only wear two sweaters or one sweater, I'm gonna get really cold. But if I wear 3 sweaters, or 4 maybe, I'm gonna stay warm during the entire time that I'm outside. And this is something you have to experiment with. This is a game, and the task is to look at the temperature and say, what clothes do I have to wear to feel like I usually do when I'm inside? The reason you must do all of this is because you must go out. Being in nature is a vital part of being healthy, because you need to be exposed to sunlight, and if you stay in all day, you're gonna mess up your circadian rhythm and you're gonna mess up your lymphatic system, because you're not gonna get any movement. So if you wear the right clothes, you're gonna go out more, because winter's gonna be more attractive to you. You're gonna get more sunlight, you're gonna sleep better, you're gonna feel better. Okay, there are many benefits to liking the winter. With that said, go and achieve excellent health by wearing more clothes. I know you can do it.